There is something profoundly wrong in our country.
They're eating the dogs.
For extra long shows without ads and extra content, go to patreon.com/RegilioV everything for everything.
Woo.
As we record, Travis Clyburn.
Yeah.
And welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me yet again.
410.
410, baby.
There's no celebration there yet, but I will be frank with you when I say that I went to a 100% legal dispensary the other night, and the guy said to me, he's like, we want to let you guys know about the deals we have coming up for 420,
Yeah.
the weed holiday. And then he pointed at what looked like, 20 different products sitting on a shelf. He goes, if you spend $100 here on 420, you get all that stuff. I was like, my God, that's a lot. And then I said to him, as an old man, I said, it's funny, back in the day when I would buy marijuana, I'd have to go to a dealer's house. The dealer, ironically, never gave you any good deals. Now that it's a bud tender, you're giving out good deals. So, yeah.
Classic dad joke, by the way.
Classic dad joke. Yeah. And to which he said, please leave. And
he was not amused. He told you to leave.
Not amused. You told me to leave. But so in immediate news, although this will be after the fact by the time this podcast drops, speaking of things dropping, Artemis 2 will be splashing down off the coast of California, my home state, at around 5 o'clock. That's as you and I record, about 2 hours away.
Nice. So they're coming down. Hopefully they land nice and safe. Have a good safe kerplunk. I've been really upset because I can't help but go to the comments of space videos on TikTok, and I just suggest to everyone, don't read the comments in space videos. You will lose it all.
Because it's what, flat Earth morons?
Oh yeah, like clearly that's fake. I mean,
I know.
We've never been. Space isn't even real. Like that's you get a lot of that.
I know. I will say that I wish I could give this person credit, but I cannot. But I did pass by somebody commenting on a reality denier.
Oh.
She was looking at a picture of the Earth taken by Artemis, and she's like, "Oh my God, clearly that's fake." And the woman, it was a woman, pops back in, and she goes, "Why is it always the people that have no problem believing the story of Noah's Ark is literally true, that can't seem to wrap their head around that we build rockets and blast into space?"
It is insane the things that they're willing to suspend all reason to believe, but when presented with reason, refuse to believe. It drives me fucking insane.
Yeah. But, and the last I'll say of this is that there have been a lot of SpaceX launches recently. And the first few, you look up and you go, my God, that's amazing. That is a rocket ship blasting off from, I'm not sure where they blast off from, somewhere north of where I live.
Yeah.
In the outer atmosphere, and you watch it and you just go, that is so freaking cool. That is so freaking cool. But they've become so regular that the other night I saw one and I looked up and I realized, I thought, you know what, that's Elon Musk. And it's not literally him in the spaceship, but that's his thing. And I gave it the finger. I said, fuck you, SpaceX. I'm done. I've become numb. I've become used to it.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be how people felt, maybe in the 30s, 40s when, flights and planes were first becoming prevalent. You'd hear one coming by. It'd be real loud because they were so loud back then. You go outside and you're like, whoa, and everyone's staring at it. Then everyone, after about, 10 years goes, you got to shut these things the fuck up. These things are killing me.
Yeah. Think about the Concorde. It could cross the Atlantic Ocean in 2 hours. At first, people were like, it's a miracle. And then after a couple of years, they were like, stop. It's loud.
Please. It's way too loud.
Yeah. Well, don't get me started on the sky being loud. I live in Los Angeles, California, where they have decided to make the sky loud with helicopters circling nonstop.
Yeah.
I am officially old man yells at cloud, except in this case, it's a mechanical cloud hovering over my goddamn house. Okay.
Yeah. No.
That said, I would like to start by thanking listener Ruben, who heard our episode last week and reached out and said, we missed one story about a J6 person. We did the story of Adam Johnson, the man who stole Nancy Pelosi's lectern for about an hour and then ditched it in the bushes.
Yeah.
Who's now running in Florida. And Ruben pointed out to me that David Medina, a Republican from Washington County, Oregon, has announced a run for governor. Well, that's very nice. Let's learn about him. He was arrested in February 2024 on federal charges related to his storming of the Capitol on January 6th.
Of course.
So he was officially charged with obstructing an official proceeding. I think that's the one they all got: disorderly and disruptive conduct, destruction of government property, and additional misdemeanor counts. He was pardoned by one Mr. Donald J. Trump, whereas Adam Johnson was running for some statewide office. This guy's I guess this is a statewide office as well, but it's governor of Oregon.
Holy shit. Well, if it wasn't for Portland, he'd probably win. Oregon is, Eastern Oregon is shockingly conservative.
Oh, yeah, Eastern, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's away from that West Coast, the elitist West Coast. The closer you get to, what does the ocean put off? Like positively charged ions or something? Am I crazy?
I'm not sure.
They say that there's something that comes off the ocean that is like good for your mentality and whatnot. That's good for you. Now I have to look this up so I don't sound like a complete hippy dippy. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it does sound like you're just talking about cool vibes, man.
Yeah, but there's some science behind it.
I'm certain there is.
Maybe the reason that on the East Coast. All right. I'm going to look into this real quick so that I can at least either back up my words or delete this segment so I don't look like a moron. One of the two.
So excited for what you're going to find.
Yeah, there is some truth to that, but it's a little more nuanced than the ocean equals magic mood ions. Okay, don't get snarky with me.
Wow.
What you're thinking of, negative ions, not positive. The ocean waterfalls and after storms produce negative ions. These are molecules that have gained an extra electron, so they carry a negative charge. Oh, man, I don't need any negative ions. Come on, bro. Do they actually affect mood, which some studies suggest that may improve mood slightly, may reduce symptoms of depression in some controlled settings, may increase alertness. Okay. Oh, well, this is actually relevant to some degree. It's probably a combo of things that why do people feel better near the beach? Sound of waves are calming, fresh air and breeze, sunlight, vitamin D, circadian rhythms, being away from stress, natural environment. So, look, the fact of the matter is there is something to, they say, the elites on the coast. Maybe it's just the elites on the coast are just a little more freaking relaxed and not so angry.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to start this episode, Travis,
Yeah.
by going to the place we usually end the episodes by going, because the news is just too darn interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, look, this is not news to anybody, but we can get into Iran, which is, look, one could very easily make the case that Donald Trump started the war with Iran to distract from Epstein, which was becoming quite the liability for him on his own side, on the right. Others could make the argument, and I have made the argument, that I think it is very easy to believe that Donald Trump is compromised, that Benjamin Netanyahu has compromising material that he got through Jeffrey Epstein that he's using to pressure, if not straight up blackmail, the president of the United States. And I will point out that it is widely reported, I've looked into this, we've talked about this, that Israeli intelligence and Benjamin Netanyahu in specific had the goods on Bill Clinton at a sexy talk that he had on the phone with one Monica Lewinsky, and used it to try and blackmail him. So this is something the Israelis do. They get goods on the American president and then try and blackmail them. This is, you can look that up, widely reported. Jeffrey Epstein had every room in every house bugged so that he could collect incriminating material on the powerful people that he put into compromising positions, and Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were very, very closely affiliated with the Israelis.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, Israeli security forces were controlling the security at one of Epstein's buildings in New York. And Ehud Barak, former prime minister of Israel, was good friends with Jeffrey Epstein. The connections are there. So you could make that argument. And I've made that argument. In fact, I would say if I were a betting man and I wanted to use the poly markets, I would bet we're going to find out something about compromising material and the Israelis someday. That said,
right.
So Donald Trump launches Epstein Fury.
Yeah. Operation Epstein Fury.
Operation Epstein Fury to distract from the Epstein files. It's kind of all anyone's talking about. I mean, we are bombing the shit out of Iran. Iran is making America look pretty foolish. One could make the argument that Donald Trump was, again, lied to by Benjamin Netanyahu, who we now have good reporting coming from the New York Times, was in the Situation Room at the White House and was leading a debriefing. Even had a member of Israeli intelligence like FaceTiming in and making the argument for attacking Iran. And Donald Trump, the president of the United States, in his own Situation Room, was letting a foreign leader lead this briefing. And Donald Trump received information from his generals saying that this is not accurate. Netanyahu was saying we're going to kill the Ayatollah on day one. The people are going to rise up. And just like Venezuela, you're going to have a new government. They're going to be building statues to you in Tehran. They're going to be naming Tehran Trump.
Trump Ron.
He's, if nothing else, the man is easily flattered into doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so there you have it. Epstein kind of out of the headlines, even though there was some news to be made, some news to be had. And then Melania out of the freaking blue.
Why did she do this?
A press conference.
And then just, out of nowhere, she would bring it back into the spotlight. I find incredibly strange.
Right. Okay, well, let's get to it. So what people are saying, and I thought this myself the minute I saw this insanely strange presser. That's slang for press conference. If you're on the inside, it's presser. It's incredibly strange presser. And I thought they're getting ahead of something. They're getting ahead of something.
Okay, I see.
They're setting the narrative before something breaks that she sees breaking.
So something, you think there's something waiting in the wings that is inevitable to come out.
Well, let's go through it a little bit. Let's actually listen to some of this eloquent, well-spoken. She definitely speaks English perfectly. And right-wingers definitely wouldn't be flipping out if a Democrat had a wife who 10 years into being the first lady still can't muddle her way through reading English off a page.
The rowboats are coming, Regilio.
But she's got some doozies in here that I'm going to point out, but where it's like, lady, just sound it out. Read the letters.
Linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation.
Reputation.
Yeah, I was going to say, what you think you have a good reputation?
Yeah. Have you watched, I don't know, the news?
Never been friends with Epstein. Got a lot of pictures of you hanging out with Epstein and Maxwell that would imply otherwise. But let's keep going.
Donald and I were invited.
This was something I noticed. Do you notice that she calls Jeffrey Epstein, but Donald Trump, Donald, softening one and humanizing them, hardening the other. So this speech wasn't, obviously didn't write this, but in addition,
No.
people that know how to frame things wrote this.
The flippers, the spinners.
I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell.
Okay, let's stop right there.
Yep.
Again, Maxwell. So she doesn't use her first name, nor does she use her first name here. Let's read the email. Subject, hi, exclamation point. Dear G, exclamation point. So she doesn't know her. She's never had a relationship with her. Her name is Ghislaine, or Maxwell, as she calls her, but she calls her Dear G, exclamation
Interesting.
point. Now, Travis, I know you pretty well. I feel like I could easily call you, what's up, T?
And I'd be like, yeah.
You'd be cool with that, right?
That's why I call you Regilio, Feel like,
Yeah.
I think just having her email probably implies the friendship in general, let alone the nickname.
Yeah. So, Dear G, how are you? Nice story about J.E. in NY Mag. J.E.? You mean Epstein? You call him just Epstein now, but you called him J.E. in NY Mag. I mean, abbreviations are a sign of familiarity. I like this next part because I'll give her this. She can't say she didn't type this because she does type like she talks. You look great on the picture.
Nailed it. Perfect English.
I know you are very busy flying all over the world. How was Palm Beach? I cannot wait to go down. Give me a call when you are back in NY. Have a great time. Love, Melania.
Love. I did not know her. I mean,
Let's let her continue.
My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence.
okay.
My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a tribal note.
Do you think that it says in front of her was nothing more than a tribal note or a trivial
that's-
note, if you were to guess?
If I had to guess, not
Trivial.
Tribal. I thought you said tribal for a second. I was like, what the fuck? What does that mean?
There was a lie that used to be spread that she speaks 5 languages.
Yeah.
She speaks 5 languages. I did quite a bit of research into that. So when she claimed to speak Italian,
Okay.
and when she went to the Vatican, the Pope started speaking in Italian to her, and she asked for a translator.
Of course.
She claimed to speak French, and when they went to France, people started speaking French to her, and she asked for a translator.
I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in a detail in my book, Melania.
Plug.
And there's the plug for
Plug.
her book. How about, do you want to sell a little meme coin while you're at it?
I've shamelessly plugged my own clips, maybe, or my own videos, maybe twice on this podcast. I would never have the audacity to do a plug on live television while saying I didn't know this well-known pedophile. I wouldn't be like, and by the way, watch The World is Clyburning on YouTube. I had no idea who Epstein was.
Paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media.
Circulating. There it is. Yeah, we figured it out.
I feel like we should stop and get into what exactly these fake Well, I mean, fake images. I have no idea what she's talking about. Other
She could just
than
mean any.
that, maybe that's what she's getting ahead
Yeah,
of.
I think she could, and also she's probably just going to try to say that any image with her and Epstein is fake. Like they are a deep fake.
Well, I don't think she could say that because there's so many that have been in the press for 25 years,
Right.
in the public on the public record for 25 years. Unless I know MAGA believes that just like God put dinosaur bones in the earth to test
Right.
our faith, that somebody built a time machine, went back in time, and put Donald Trump in pictures with Epstein to test
It was
their
a
faith.
Jewish
But,
AI laser that sent it back to the year 2000.
But there's something about that, the images. But let me just be clear. So she's about to get into the people that she has demanded retractions from that have given her retractions. Right. I want you to notice that she does not say the name Michael Wolff. Michael Wolff is Epstein's biographer.
Right.
Michael Wolff. Now, this is Michael Wolff talking, not Michael Regilio. Any litigious Trump supporters out there. Michael Wolff said that Epstein did introduce Melania to Trump. Michael Wolff says that Melania flew on his private jet. Michael Wolff says that the first time Melania and Trump had sex was on his private jet.
Interesting. Also, it does sound like you've snapped, given yourself a cool nickname, and are exclusively speaking in the third person. Michael Wolff says.
No, I'm Michael the Wolf. He's Michael
Right.
Wolff.
My bad.
So, look, what she's trying to say is very clear. I was just a 21-year-old model having sex with 50-year-old billionaires, but not criminally.
That's so gross.
In the very typical gold diggery, sleazy way that a lot of people do. I mean, they met through the modeling agencies, which has been widely speculated that this was how they brought in these young girls, was through these modeling agencies that Trump and Epstein and Casablancas and all these people that are caught up and implicated in it. By the way, several of them, including Epstein, mysteriously died in prison cells. She was part of that
That's
world.
also the most, the
modeling
world, especially her fake modeling contracts, probably the most common. I'm not sure of the stats, but I know it is one of the most common ways to sex traffic. Some young girl, you tell her like, you got to be a model, and the next thing you know, they're taking them away.
Yeah, just quickly, I'll rattle off a few things I've talked about on the show before. But a woman says that her 15-year-old daughter was brought to one of these modeling parties with Epstein and Trump, and that Marla Maples, Donald Trump's wife, grabbed her by the arm and said, "Don't let your daughter anywhere near these men, particularly my husband." To which Marla Maples did not deny it. She said, "I remember it differently," or something like that. She did not say it didn't happen. I've never met this woman. She said, "I remember that differently."
Yeah, which very open-ended on her part.
Right. So let's hear her go through the list of people that she has demanded retractions from and see if Michael Wolff, who's also out there making far more salacious claims than the people she lists here, is on that list, because it seems like an omission worth noting.
Yeah, for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false. I'm not a witness or a name witness.
I'm not a weakness.
I think she's got a weakness, and it's rich old dudes who you can't wait till they die.
Yeah, and she's wishing it was 2 decades ago.
In connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents,
Check. Okay. Court documents.
depositions,
Okay.
victim statements,
Okay.
or FBI interviews surrounding the Epstein matter.
Okay.
Right. What about in the Epstein files? Because I just read an email that you wrote to G exclamation
Buddy
point,
G.
and I got it out of the Epstein files. I don't have the file number on it immediately in front of me, but that is from the Epstein files. So you did appear in the Epstein files.
I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims.
Okay.
Then you were the only one.
Yeah.
In fact, we now know that 2009, when the hammer was coming down and the walls were closing in on Epstein, your husband called the Palm Beach sheriff and said he was glad they were investigating Epstein. Everybody knew about what he was up to, which A, is a confession that Trump's saying, I knew what he was up to. Everyone knew it. B, it totally discredits the idea that he kicked Epstein out of his club and that he's the one who turned him in. You can't turn somebody in where the investigation is a year it's already been going on for a year, and you call to thank the police for investigating him. And secondly, Trump said everybody knew what he was up to. You were his wife. If your husband knew what he was up to, how could you say you didn't?
I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island.
Who cares? I'm so tired of the private island line. All the abuse, almost all the abuse, happened at the Palm Beach and the Manhattan residences.
Right.
That's where all the victims say they were, and by the way, New Mexico at the Zorro Ranch.
His fucking weird compound he was building in New Mexico.
Which, for some reason, the FBI never served a search warrant on.
Very strange.
This is also strange. And just to make things stranger, what is this? Why is she saying this?
Yeah.
I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime.
Convicted.
No, convinced.
With Epstein sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins UK.
HarperCollins UK. That's the end of the list, right?
Yeah,
Is there another one?
Anyone else?
Nope. End of the
not
list.
Michael the Wolf. Oh, no.
That's
sorry.
me,
I'm
you
sorry.
asshole. He's
Well, she
Michael
probably
Wolf.
want to discredit you.
And
you
it's
know.
WOLFE. I'm Michael the Wolf, and it's just WOLF.
Right.
And it's duh, not the.
I think can't confirm this, but I'm pretty sure the speech was written by Stephen Miller. Because if you've ever noticed this, I'm sure we put the dots together before. He loves to throw a rhyme in from time to time, and he threw it. Stephen Miller loves to throw in a rhyme when he writes certain speeches. I've noticed that, and when he talks as well. And she threw out sound reputation without hesitation. Just dropped a bar for no reason.
I did not notice that.
Yeah.
Pete Hegseth does that too. Remember
Yeah.
the whole
I'm pretty sure
maximum lethality without legality.
Yeah, I don't. I'm pretty sure that's a signature of old Creepy McGee Miller. Because in his speech they've ever said that he's written, he throws a little rhyme in there.
Interesting.
I can't confirm
I don't know
that.
what to make of this. I really don't know what to make of this. I will just. Something's going to drop.
I don't know.
Why now? Why when no one was talking about it?
I have no fucking idea. I've got no theories other than something's coming.
Something's coming.
It's such a weird move, man, especially now when basically, like, you could argue, they did it. They swept it under the rug. We have bigger fish to fry.
I mean, let's get into it. Let's get into what's going on with it right now, because there is other news on the Epstein front. We might as well get into it. But Pam Bondi,
Yep.
who was in charge of the Epstein files, was subpoenaed by Congress to come and testify. And Donald Trump fired her, and everyone cheered. And I said, I don't think it's a good thing. She's going to use that to get out of testifying. And Todd Blanche, now the acting Attorney General, has decided former Attorney General Pam Bondi will not appear for her scheduled oversight deposition. The Department of Justice informed Congress the subpoena is effectively invalid. DOJ argued Bondi was being called to testify in her official capacity as Attorney General. Because of that, the subpoena is considered moot or unenforceable. The move halts efforts to question her regarding Epstein-related matters and DOJ actions, which is just such bullshit. Yep. They want Pam Bondi to come and testify on how Pam Bondi handled the Epstein files. So it doesn't matter if she's Attorney General or not. They need Pam Bondi to account for Pam Bondi. Who else could do it other than Pam Bondi?
Right. This is fascinating. These are the same people that blame every single thing on Obama when he's not president anymore. And by this logic, they're like, oh, well, no, she's not, she doesn't have the job anymore. So
yeah,
she, nothing you can do about it. It's not her fault, moving on.
Yeah. And then in addition, acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, who I will remind everyone was Donald Trump's personal defense lawyer. And he was so good at it that he won Donald Trump 34 felony convictions. He lost the case, but he kissed Trump's ass just right. He's now the acting Attorney General. He has said, I am not moving forward. We are not moving forward with anything else involving Epstein.
Damn.
But by the way, Melania, and I stopped playing the speech because I can't stand the sound of her voice anymore. But she says at the end of the speech, let the victims testify.
Yeah.
To which I say, that's because the victims who are on record as wanting to testify all say that Trump wasn't part of it. It was Epstein. The women who say it was Trump have kind of disappeared, even though we have the FBI interviews. The FBI interviewed Katie Johnson 4 times.
Right.
The FBI interviewed that other girl. And then we have later found out that all of the things she talked about in the interview have added up, that people have done fact checking, and they're like, she's telling the truth about every other thing. We don't know about the Trump accusation, obviously, but everything adds up. Katie Johnson was interviewed 4 times by the FBI, and everyone that knows how the FBI works says if they interviewed you 4 times, that means you were giving them verifiable information, and they were checking it, and they were saying it looks like she's telling the truth.
Right.
Those 2 people that we know about, those are the 2 bigs that claim Donald Trump, and this is in the Epstein files, they have not come forward. The women who've come forward have all, to a person, to the best of my knowledge, said that it was just Epstein, not Trump.
Right. Well, I mean, I think probably, now that Trump's president, I think it would be a risky move to put yourself out there, especially when he clearly doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself. I think they'd be in a lot of danger if they came forward. So
here's one more theory, and that is that Trump is fallen off with the base. MAGA is splitting apart. So why don't we cover a little bit of that?
I got a few clips if you want to. I've got one from Fox News and one from Trigger Warning, Matt Walsh. Which one would you like to?
Let's hear him.
All right, let's hear Matt Walsh first. Trigger warning.
One question still has not been answered, which why exactly was this necessary for America to get involved in right now? I don't think we've ever gotten, to my mind, a sufficient answer to that. Not like, well, maybe it'll work out, but why was it necessary? Why did we have to do this right now? I don't think there's been a good answer to that, and especially when the nuclear program is used as the answer. Well, we were told that it was obliterated back in like June, so it's difficult to understand how both those things could be true. That the nuclear program was obliterated, but also the nuclear program is why we had to launch this war. I don't think we've gotten a good answer to that, and I also think that and then how are we better off? How has America benefited from it? Getting the Strait back open. Well, great. It was already open before this, so it's hard to see that we could say that that was a good reason for the war to start.
Sounded like a bit of a little wokey there, Matt Walsh. Look at you making fucking sense for the first time. But by the way, that's from the Daily Wire. That's that weird show where the 4 of those guys. I don't know what the fuck that show is about, but usually they just talk about manly stuff, and they're the 4 least manly dudes I've ever seen. That's an insane talking point from him, but I know Ben Shapiro specifically, again, love loves Israel, is so for this war. Fuck, he loves this war. He's so excited about it. So for someone on his network to say this is pretty
Well,
insane.
they're trying to save the network and save face. As long as you're talking about that, people who look at Ben Shapiro's numbers, which you can see on particularly his YouTube videos, say that it's fallen off a cliff. He's lost the base. Nobody wants to hear him defend Israel. And I will just quickly point out that we went to war because we said that a country in the Middle East was secretly developing nuclear weapons, and the ally we had was a country in the Middle East that everybody knows secretly developed nuclear weapons. Israel has a secret nuclear program.
Oh yeah. And right, I mean, just to mention the war crimes they're currently committing in Lebanon, which is one of the reasons why we had that mini ceasefire. That was such a wild. There were 2 days there where I really did lose all faith in that the news will ever be able to figure Trump out. They were reporting his truths like they were real, like they were believing him. When it was so, it's like they keep doing that. It's driving me nuts because they'll be like, well, oh, this is good. There's a ceasefire. That's what that's what the president has said. And they report it as fact. And then seconds later, they're like, oh, that's weird. The strait's still not open. And Israel's shelling the fuck out of Lebanon. Huh. I thought there was a ceasefire. And then,
Yeah. Well, and it's also very interesting where Iran has proven conclusively, and I can't remember which news outlet it was, but has proven conclusively that the ceasefire they agreed upon included Lebanon.
Yes.
But Israel refused to stop attacking Lebanon.
Right.
And the president of the United States, was supposedly the strongest country militaristically in the world, the country that gives billions upon billions upon billions of dollars a year to Israel, can't pull on the leash.
Right.
Can't pull them back. What are you going to, they don't want to stop.
Yeah.
And then Trump lied and said, no, the peace deal the ceasefire had nothing to do with Lebanon, that Israel got to keep attacking. And that's not true.
Yeah.
So again, what does Netanyahu have on Trump? Where he can't pull the leash. He can't say, for 2 weeks, could you stop attacking Lebanon? Netanyahu won't do it. Netanyahu's clearly in charge. Rubio said we had to go to war because Israel was going to go to war. So we had to do what they wanted. I mean, none of it makes any damn sense. And I'm going to put on my warm, comfy, hand knitted with love conspiracy hat.
Truth
no
hat.
longer a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Because there's no such thing as crazy conspiracies anymore.
Yeah.
But have you noticed, that ever since Trump, I guess we should talk about this for a split second since it happened since the last episode, Donald Trump woke up in truth. An entire civilization will die tonight.
Yeah. Yep. It's sad that so many things have happened that I almost forgot he fucking said that.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was wild.
So that said, with that, there was a lot of talk of the 25th Amendment.
Yeah.
That's it. He's not mentally stable enough to be the president. We have to 25th Amendment this guy. So let me put on the conspiracy hat real quick, the warm
toboggan
conspiracy hat, and say to you this. So let's say that you are the Republican Party and you're trying to strategize.
Okay. Let
me
shake my head up.
Particularly with, what's that?
Let me shake up my head, loosen my brain.
Hit yourself don't try and get yourself into the into the mindset of a Republican.
Okay.
That requires having a stroke. Just ask Fetterman.
Okay, good, fair.
So you let Trump keep going the way he's going, and you lose the House, the Senate, in such massive numbers. You lose the state houses, you lose the governorships, you lose the country in November.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump gets impeached and he's removed. Or you pull the 25th Amendment card now, which is you can remove, his cabinet can remove him.
Yeah.
And it gets a little complicated, but in essence, the cabinet can remove him if he's mentally unfit, and they agree upon that. You remove him now, you put Vance in, you try and undo the damage, and you have a chance in November. The right strategic move is to remove him now.
Right. I think he's been enough of a useful idiot. He's the Trojan horse for the Project 2025 people. I think if they pulled the ripcord on him now, I would not be shocked.
And here's my piece of evidence, and this is where my former tinfoil hat comes into play.
Right.
Who did they put in charge of negotiating peace with Iran?
Jebediah Vance, I believe is what
Jebediah Vance.
Yes.
J.D. Vance. They are putting him out there and making him look very presidential. He's doing something very good. He's trying to establish peace in the Middle East.
Right.
It seems to me that this talk of the 25th Amendment isn't so crazy, that maybe they're trying to get JD out there, and maybe Trump's even in on it. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Fine, I'll go.
I don't know.
I'll go. JD pardons me for all my crimes, and they are oh so numerous.
Right.
And then we have JD Vance, and he tries to right the ship and save the midterms in some way, because if it's Trump, it's either fascism, there is no election, we call a state of emergency, there's people in the streets, if not people acting in ways even more direct than just using free speech.
Oh, yeah.
And the country's a mess, or get him out of there now and see what we can do, because he is falling off a cliff with the base. He's lost Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, and I've got a clip for you on all those people. But they are starting to get where I always thought they should get, and this is coming at you as an atheist.
Yeah.
But as you know, Peter Thiel pontificated on who the Antichrist is. And he came up with, I'll remind you, the billionaire weirdo super Christian came up with not Donald Trump, but Greta Thunberg,
Yes.
the teenager climate activist,
Yes.
was his best guess. But now they're starting to, let me just start by playing you Tucker Carlson. I'm going to play you a few more where he seems to be implying that, well, you tell me what he's implying.
The president did not take his oath of office with his hand on the Bible. His wife stood next to him holding it. I was about 15 feet away and saw it, but he did not put his hand on the Bible. And that should have been maybe a clue that we need to pause and think about, what is this? Why wouldn't you put your hand on the Bible? If you don't believe in the Bible, you think it's just a book, there's no cost to you to putting your hand on it, just kind of following the protocol, going along with the tradition. All presidents do it. Why aren't you doing it? And you're not doing it intentionally. You're choosing not to put your hand on the Bible when you take that oath. That suggests not that you don't believe it's real, because if you didn't believe it was real, why would you care? You'd put on the costume and take it off. It doesn't matter. That suggests you know it is real and you're rejecting it intentionally. You know what you're doing and you're doing it anyway. That is immoral. That will never be moral. That can never be justified. That is always wrong.
Okay, I think we got enough of that message, but
Yeah.
it seems to me he's saying that he knows the Bible is real and powerful and has the power and the light of a just God, and that for some reason he can't touch it or won't touch it.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's saying Trump is working for the other team.
Interesting. As in, he might be anti Christianity,
He's not pro-Christ,
rather,
but rather the opposite.
yes. Or hear me out. Hear me out. He didn't put his hand on the Bible because everyone knows the exact size, shape, and dimensions of a Bible. And he knew if he put his little teeny tiny hands on there, we'd finally get a good reference for how little his little mittens are.
Oh, that was the nicest thing you've ever said about Donald Trump.
Yeah, I know.
He's not the Antichrist. He's just got little hands, which means a little penis.
Yeah. Well documented.
So let's go through this quickly.
And people go, Mr. Fuentes, there's too many of them. What are we going to do? I'm like, I told you not to vote for Trump. The Antichrist was on the ballot. They practically said, Antichrist 2024, Gog and Magog and Armageddon. Like, you voted for this.
And here's Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes asking, is President Trump the Antichrist? No, but this is an Antichrist spirit creeping into the White House where he's Jesus, he's going to save us. We have to worship him. All of them comparing him to Jesus, comparing the weapons officer shot down on the plane to Jesus. I mean, this is cultic stuff. And it is an Antichrist spirit. The Bible tells us many times there are many Antichrists and an Antichrist spirit. And I don't think Trump's a devil worshiper. I don't think he gets on his knees and prays the devil. I think he's under a demonic spell.
Oh.
And the preachers around him act very demonic.
I mean,
he's under a delusion that he's a savior.
Uh-huh.
No, the Antichrist knows he's the Antichrist, but there are many that come in the form precursors of the Antichrist. Just like you have Abraham, and then you have David, and then you have Jesus. And it's the same repeat. Well, you have that with the Antichrist. But definitely this type of activity is ushering in Antichrist-type behavior. The Iranians think they're triggering the return of the Mahdi, or the final Messiah. A bunch of sects of the Jews think that and say that everywhere. And the Christian evangelicals, the dispensationalists, believe that. Well, how do you bring Jesus back before the Antichrist is here? No, they're going to say the Antichrist is the Messiah. And you're going to have the Jews and the Muslims and a lot of the Christians say he's it. See how the setup? And then the real Christians that see through it are going to be executed. It's all in the Bible. But oh no, the churches are saying we're going right to the end of the world, right to Jesus, and blowing up Iran makes Jesus come back. Really, where's the Antichrist? Where's the tribulation? Where's the mark of the beast? It's all coming in, but it ain't here yet. You can hear the train coming, but it ain't here yet. It's a few miles down the road. But it ain't here. Anybody can see that. But
okay, I got to stop it because it's too crazy. But
he started.
I love how they know things you couldn't possibly know. But I like how he hedged. Is Trump the Antichrist? No, but an Antichrist spirit has taken over him. But he's not the Antichrist, but he has the Antichrist spirit. You know what I'm saying? Nick Fuentes is saying he's straight the Antichrist, and Tucker Carlson's dancing around it.
I mean,
did you think we'd get here?
No. I mean, we said on, I'm going to say episode 2, back when we were on Dogma Debates, that the most likely candidate, if the Christian faith is true, for the Antichrist, would so obviously be Trump. It's wild that they're just now figuring that out. But no, I never thought they'd say it. That's pretty unbelievable.
Pretty unbelievable.
Well, I mean, everything they said was unbelievable. It's I not to spend every episode we have shitting on religion, but it is frustrating that a bunch of grown people who believe in fucking fairy tales are making huge decisions and costing so many people their lives and livelihood.
Well, you got to understand that what's going on is how he thinks he could know these things is.
He claims he is the most confident man maybe who's ever lived. He claims to know things. I got the documents, you know. He's been doing that for forever. Like Obama's got FEMA camps. They're going to be concentration camps. He's so confident.
Okay, well, you know what? I think this is the perfect story to go into next because it combines both voices, demonic voices, and it also gets into podcasting. And it's, I'm afraid to say that perhaps our podcast has a little competition because I don't know. Did you see this headline? RFK Jr. launching podcast.
Oh, wow.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is launching a podcast that, in his words, will focus on, quote, telling the truth, especially when it's uncomfortable and confronting the spiritual malaise.
Huh. What kind of spiritual malaise do you think cutting off a raccoon penis that's dead on the side of the road gives you?
Oh, my God. That is exactly what Ball would do, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The storm god.
So let me get into a few things that he's doing when it comes to telling the truth. So, as you know, as the head of Health and Human Services, he is the head of he controls the CDC, and the acting director of the CDC has delayed publication of a report showing the COVID-19 vaccine cut the likelihood of emergency department visits and hospitalizations for healthy adults last winter by about half, according to scientists familiar with the decision. The delay, which has not been previously reported, offers a window into how vaccine policy is being shaped behind the scenes, even as the Trump administration has sought to soften its public posture on controversial actions ahead of the midterm elections. So they have studies that show that basically the COVID vaccine worked, did a good job, and they are delaying the release of it.
I wonder why.
Is that the truth he's talking about? How he's hiding the truth? I got another truth for you that one Mr. Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., who I will remind you used to be an environmental lawyer, who sued pesticide companies, most specifically Roundup, for the damage they did to people. Well, let me play you a story from none other than the PBS NewsHour.
EPA is starting to allow the use of pesticides containing PFAS on food. It's part of an effort to roll back the regulation of what are called forever chemicals because they don't break down easily in the environment. Last week, the agency approved the use of 2 new pesticides that qualify as PFAS. It means that farmers could spread them on crops like romaine lettuce, broccoli, and potatoes. The Washington Post is reporting that agency plans to approve 4 more pesticides. Not much is known about their long-term impact, but PFAS have been linked to certain cancers, birth defects, and other health problems. In a statement to the NewsHour today, the EPA said it will provide transparent, science-based information on how the chemicals are evaluated.
Oh, will it? Will it?
Some more truth that RFK Jr. is going to be hitting us with. Gotta love the truth.
I gotta say, never have I ever been more thankful that I don't eat a lot of vegetables. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry, vegans. You thought you were healthy. Now you're ingesting forever cancer chemicals.
You've been very good about bringing these stories to this podcast. You did both the spinach.
Yep. Which is not doing well. That and they're breaking down the barriers of what organic even means. It's all becoming it's just they're poisoning our food supply for profit. It's because they lose, especially when I did logistics and stuff like that. And I worked as a freight broker. I drove trucks myself. I know if you have a refrigerated truck, the chances of you losing food on the route is inevitable. It's just going to happen unless you can do stuff like spray it with chemicals, and then they last longer. You can add more preservatives into these fruits and vegetables, and then they last longer, and you make more money. But at what cost? Who knows?
At what cost? Well, they're looking out for us and our health. And let me point out another story that came out this week, that they are basically completely defunding the U.S. Forest Service.
Oh, good.
Administration now plans to close all 10 regional offices, eliminate 50-plus research facilities across 31 states. And critics warn that this will be a loss of experienced staff, reduced scientific oversight, and weakening of environmental protections. We already did the story last week where they have lifted the ban on some drilling techniques or processes in the Gulf of Mexico that environmentalists say is basically signing the death warrant for several species of whales.
Right.
Now they're signing the death warrant for several species of hominids. Oh, wait, there's only one species of hominid left, and it's us.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of these MAGA people might be a touch of something else. We might be seeing an evolutionary split here. But that's because these people have the mentality like these are the same mentality of people in like the 1890s. You know, the people that were like, I'm just going to cut down all these trees. Fuck these trees. We're not going to replant this. I need the trees. I need the money. I need the paper. They don't give a shit about state parks. I think it's inevitable that they will start invading and encroaching into the territory of protected state park land as well.
Absolutely. They already have.
I mean, yeah.
In Alaska, they're allowing drilling on protected land.
Right. I mean, then it's only a matter of time before we would go, all these California redwoods, I bet we could make that into quite a lot of paper. Let's go ahead and cut those bitches down.
Or what's under them, what minerals or whatever is under all those trees. Get them out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I really think that the sliding doors moment when we could have really changed the history of the world was when George W. Bush stole the election from Al Gore. Al Gore becoming president in 2000. We would have been all fossil fuels by now. Maybe that's pie in the sky fantasy from a little hippy dippy guy in California. But man, these wars over oil in 2026 after we decided 30 years ago to get off oil. And now we're killing the planet, fighting over the oil, which is killing the planet anyway. It's a double kill the planet whammy.
And even if you talk about like the biggest leverage that say you're a fucking war hawk conservative and you're like, fuck Iran, I'm glad we're bombing them. Hell yeah. If we would have gotten off of oil or at least reduced our need for it, especially foreign oil, then the Strait of Hormuz wouldn't mean shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's their leverage. They can ruin the world through that
It would have
one
been a sweet
strait.
spot for windsurfing, and that would have been it.
And now they've got all the leverage in the world because they can't get, you love daddy oil. It's so delicious. You can't get off the teat.
Yeah. I mean, don't even get me started in the destruction of our allegiances and our allies and of NATO and the empowerment of not only Iran and the Ayatollah, and we don't like the Ayatollah, we're atheists, and Putin and China, who are like, it's just all the bad guys are winning, all the good guys are losing in this one, particularly the environmentalists and the people who care about trying to save the planet. Speaking of which, we talked about it. We mentioned it briefly, but I have some updates for you. I did mention that the White House is seeking a record-shattering Pentagon budget of $1.5 trillion for the next fiscal century. No. Fiscal decade. No. For the next fiscal year. For the next 365 days. The Pentagon budget that is or the proposed Pentagon budget that Donald Trump is after is $1.5 trillion. The United States already has the world's largest military budget at roughly $1 trillion, more than the combined budgets of the next 9 highest spending countries combined. Trump administration's budget includes funding for F-35 stealth fighters, warships, the President Trump's Golden Dome missile defense. I mean, I hate to sound like Rodney King here, but can't we all just get along?
I mean, it's tough. That's terrifying.
Yeah, and we played the speech where Donald Trump said that daycare, healthcare, and other priorities we can't do that. We've got to build. We have one thing to do, and that's build the military. Well, so I am going to go ahead and read to you some of the places that they are suggesting where we get that money from.
Okay,
and that is to say, the things we're going to cut in order to pay for more F-35 stealth fighters.
All right. And the Gold Dome, the Trump Dome.
$1.6 billion cut from weather forecasting, fisheries, and coastal protections, also known as NOAA, N-O-A-A, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, I believe.
Who needs that? Who needs to watch the atmosphere? You know, we're not like a rock flying through fucking outer space or anything.
Yeah, no need to look at that. 1.1 billion cuts from scientific research funding, 386 million cut from the environmental cleanup programs, 15.2 billion cut from roads, bridges, and infrastructure.
Don't need that.
What happened to Infrastructure Week? 2.2 billion cut from broadband and internet access to rural and poor areas. 61 million cut from farmers and food markets. That program has been eliminated 100%. That is all the money they had.
Jeez.
It's gone. 82 million cut from rural business loans and programs. Again, that eliminates the program. That all they had was 82 million for that particular program. That would eliminate the program. And I will point out again, rural people. That's Trump's base.
Yeah.
He doesn't fucking care about you. He might be the fucking Antichrist.
And no shit.
510 million cut from farm grants and agricultural research. Again, farmers overwhelmingly vote for Donald Trump. That's very strange that he's cutting that program.
And he's been fucking them from day one, by the way.
What's that?
Farmers. He's been fucking farmers from day one, especially with the all the weird deals he did with Argentina and stuff like that to ship in their resources. They can't be fucking happy.
No. $8.5 billion to be cut from public schools. Who needs those?
Who needs to learn, dude?
$1.5 billion cut from vocational training and adult education. That is all the money that was in that particular program. That would be to eliminate the vocational training and adult education program. That is a total cut.
That kills blue collar. That kills so much blue collar work. Vocational schools. I went to vocational school. That kills so many.
AI is going to do it. Elon Musk and Peter Thiel are going to make a killing off of that. Why would you have humans competing with his donors?
Oh shit.
With the Epstein class.
Yeah.
$2.7 billion cut from college access and higher education support.
We know they hate that.
$3.3 billion cut from community development block grants. That eliminates that program. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, who needs college access? We know they've been they're not fans of higher education in any way, shape, or form.
That's because they're fucking elitists.
Oh yeah.
They know the smarter you are, the less likely you are to vote Republican.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's why they want to cut public education, not because it's a woke factory. It's because they hate you. Yeah. And they think they keep you dumb and keep you voting for them.
Yeah, I played that clip of Vivek Ramaswamy running for governor here in Ohio.
Yep.
And he was basically like, we got to consolidate all our colleges, make them more elite. I'm like, so take away the smaller colleges. That's insane. Yeah.
The more you know, the less likely you are to vote Republican. $1.3 billion cut from affordable housing and construction grants. Affordable housing. Who needs that? $1.1 billion cut from home energy efficiency and clean energy programs. That would be every dime in that particular program. That would be to eliminate that program. $4 billion cut from heating and cooling assistance. Well, who would need that as climate change is about to take another leap forward? Yep. And it's going to be 133-degree days in Arizona and California and every other place. Who needs cooling assistance?
Yeah.
You're on your own with that bill. And heating, I mean, again, climate change does create colder environments too.
Oh, yeah.
Don't need it. $5 billion cut from public health programs, mental health services, and disease prevention. $5 billion cut from NIH medical research. One more. $768 million cut from refugee assistance programs, of course.
Well, yeah, that's a fucking no shit right there. And yeah, I mean, it's who needs all these environmental, especially the heating and cooling assistance, because, it's not like March wasn't the hottest March we've ever had. Yeah. Ever.
And with all those programs being cut, I would like to ask you a question. And just, I don't want you to, but off the top of your head, Travis, just growing up in America, what would you say is the perception of, financially speaking, a country we call Mexico?
Well, I'd say if I look at it just from my tiny white town, I think they'd probably think it was a third world country. That's how they would probably perceive it. Yeah. And, barely industrialized, can't do much. Like their military is a joke. Stuff like that, I think that's probably...
I would say that is an accurate perception. I don't know what the actual truth is, but the perception of people growing up in American. Yeah, so I'm going to read to you after we've read all those cuts. I want you to think of the cuts. Remember the cuts. I'm going to read to you this headline. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum announced on Tuesday that in 2027, universal health care will be granted to all citizens. Sheinbaum's plan is to unify Mexico's public health institutions into a single universal health service.
Jesus.
We've cut every program that can help anybody, and Mexico is getting universal health care.
When they talked about fully industrialized nations and they talked about the universal healthcare systems, they said they would always say America and Mexico are the only two that do not have universal healthcare. And now America is the only fucking country that does not offer universal healthcare.
Just us.
Just us.
We have
fucking
no more
assholes.
justice.
Yeah.
Because it's just us.
Oh, yeah. Well, by the way, I got a little chart. I found this chart while we were talking about military spending. Because who needs you? This is the old one, by the way. This is just when we spent $877 billion a year. It's got a fun little chart here, and you can see our stack is still bigger than China, Russia, India, Saudi Arabia, United Kingdom, Germany, France, South Korea, Japan, and Ukraine, all put together.
Yep.
But who needs all those countries? Forms of universal health care. Yet we're gonna up it. We're gonna go over $1 trillion and then add 5.
I mean, I'm depressed.
It's very depressing. And now, so is this a sure thing, or is this something that's
no? This is
voted on soon?
proposed.
Okay,
this is what they are proposing in order to pay for this.
Oh man, I just hope if Republicans actually go through with this and they don't turn on Trump, which I just doubt they will, turn on Trump. I mean, this could fuck us up. This is worse than all the cuts they've made to cancer research and science in this country. I mean, this is putting a bullet in the head of the country. I mean, I don't even know. So many people will be without. It's insane.
And I mean, look, the rest of the world is walking away from us. And this is the point I've made several times before, but I need to be clear about this. The world doesn't trust us anymore. And it's not Donald Trump they don't trust. Of course, he's a dumbass.
Yeah.
It's half the country that voted for him. That's who they're saying we don't trust Americans anymore. They're too dumb.
Yeah.
They're too dumb. Our alliances are falling apart. The world is restructuring away from America. We're always going to be the richest kid on the block and the biggest bully on the block, so they have to pay attention to us. But actually counting on us and creating alliances with us, I think those days are done, man. I think re-electing him after January 6th, re-electing him after he stole classified documents, re-electing him after he was convicted or he was found civilly liable for sexually assaulting a woman, all those things, that's when they went, okay, we don't trust you anymore. And I just will give you this headline. France pulls 15 billion of gold out of U.S. vaults and more EU member states say they may follow.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's really bad. I mean, I think it's only a matter of time, especially, if something doesn't change, which, we talked earlier about maybe the 25th Amendment being invoked. But if we stay the Trump course right now, I mean, there's no way they're going to allow the U.S. dollar to remain to be the sort of world currency as far as
the default world currency.
No chance. They just can't. Eventually, and also, we had just such a stable dollar, and I feel like it's being held together by like popsicle sticks and glue right now. Like it's going to pop at any fucking minute. Yeah. I do really worry about it. And then we'll have, I don't know, some sort of horrible hyperinflation to deal with.
I mean, again, one might say that the end of the current world order is what some people are trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. The people with all the billions. I'll point out that another listener to our show DM'd me and said something I found very interesting. And I said, God damn, is that a good point? He said that if you hoard anything else, we see it as mental illness, except money. Yeah. Anything else, we say to somebody, when is it enough? When is it too much? If you're hoarding little China dolls and your entire house is overtaken with China dolls and your garage is filled with China dolls, you've got too many. It's too much. But money.
We also don't realize how much being or identifying so aggressively as a capitalist country has influenced the way we perceive everything. I will never forget watching, when I was younger, a documentary about psychopaths. And I remember it was the one where the doctor who discovered this particular brain pattern that psychopaths have, because he researched all these prisoners and stuff, and he gave them brain scans. And one day he thought one of the prisoner brain scans, because he scanned his family, got in with his family's. Turns out it was his brain scan, and he, in fact, was a psychopath. And they try to reassure people at the end, but he had a great family. Came from money, he was very supported. He's a very driven doctor, but he was a psychopath. And they try to assure people at the end of this, being like, don't worry, psychopaths are mainly very successful businessmen. Most CEOs are actually psychopaths. And I'm like, that's the culture that we're like, no, don't worry. No, it's cool that a guy with no feelings runs everything and has money, has the most money, has a hole inside him he can only fill with cash and power. That's okay, because, It's America. It's capitalism. It's fine.
Yeah, I always say that corporations aren't immoral; they're amoral. They just
they don't care.
Yeah, they just don't care. Speaking of people trying to make as much money as they possibly can, a group of new accounts on the prediction market, Polymarket, made highly specific, well-timed bets on whether the U.S. and Iran would reach a ceasefire on April 7th. These bets were made even though in the hours before a 2-week ceasefire was announced on Tuesday, President Donald Trump's rhetoric had escalated sharply, and there were few signs that a ceasefire deal was imminent. Early in the day, Trump had issued a warning on social media about whole civilization will die tonight.
Yeah.
An analysis of publicly available blockchain data from Polymarket using the crypto analytics platform Dune shows that at least 50 accounts or wallets placed substantial yes bets Tuesday before Trump announced a ceasefire bet on Truth Social around 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
My God, man. Well, yep. And it's definitely insiders. It's definitely Donnie Jr. I mean, it's, 50. That sounds like he gave a heads up to his whole cabinet and everyone they know.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because here's the very next story I have. Time magazine just today. The White House reportedly sent a staff-wide email warning against placing trades and bets using confidential information.
Hilarious.
News of the warning, which was first reported by the Wall Street Journal, comes as Democratic lawmakers have raised concerns about possible insider trading. So in other words, just the inner circle gets to place these bets. They opened it up to the outer circle for a while. They got caught. And now the little guy, of course, is getting screwed. You don't get to make.
Right.
But the huge bets, the bets that make billions, they're not going to go away, particularly the betting on the futures. And, I don't know how this stuff works, but I know that you bet on the futures when you want things to fall, and then you bet on something else when you want it to go up. And therein, hundreds of billions have been made by very well-timed, incredibly smart people who just happen to get it down and get it exactly right.
Who thought, contrary to every bit of evidence, that this would happen, by the way.
Yeah.
And the ceasefire lasted for a second. But they got their paycheck. Or their not paycheck. They got their payout. I think it's probably the best way to say that. That's unfucking believable.
Yeah. Speaking of which, in that these things being circulated, I'm starting to talk like Melania. These things being circulated. This is slightly mind-blowing, and it is going under the radar, so I thought I'd bring this to everybody. But DOJ says laws Congress passed to prevent another Nixon don't apply to Trump. Yeah. This week, Donald Trump's Department of Justice found a new and disturbing way to try to consolidate power exclusive in the hands of Trump, this time releasing a dubious opinion through the Office of Legal Counsel that argues the Presidential Records Act doesn't apply. The OLC now claims that the Presidential Record Act, which was created in the wake of the Watergate scandal some 50 years ago and makes all presidential records federal property, invades the president's independence and is thereby unlawful.
That's wild.
In other words, this is the way it's supposed to work. Every single thing done in the executive branch, there's supposed to be a record of it. And you leave it. When you leave office, you leave it. Donald Trump stole it last time.
Right.
You leave it, and then 5 years later it becomes public record. And we get to see everything you did. They are now saying Trump doesn't need to do that. He gets to keep his presidential records. And in addition to that, I'll point out to you that we know that they're using Signal Chat anyway, which disappears your messages.
Yeah.
That they're doing things off the records anyway. So whatever little few records they have, they are now saying, Donald Trump. I mean, what more evidence do you need that this is fascism, that this is authoritarianism? Yeah. He had his Office of Legal Counsel issue a ruling that the rules don't apply to Donald Trump, and that the very thing put in place 50 years ago so that a corrupt president like Nixon never happens again, they're saying that law, the Presidential Records Act, doesn't apply to him.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say anymore.
I mean, they talked about this very act when discussing Hillary back in 2000 and who knows what year that was, 16? Sure, barely feels like that year ever happened. They talked about this. I remember several times them talking about the Presidential Record Act being like the whole Hillary email thing. Like she's got a server that's unprotected, it's at home or some bullshit like that.
Yep.
And that's why she's unfit to be president. I could think of a few other reasons I didn't care for her. It doesn't matter, but like there's no end to the hypocrisy of these fucking people, dude. And it's because, they definitely want to get away with a lot of fucking crimes, dude. They're doing so much crime.
So many crimes.
My God.
I don't know what else to say about this. Well, how about a little breather for a moment and talk about some records that have leaked that were private and probably should have stayed that way.
Okay.
Humiliating texts from Kristi Noem's husband sent about his family and how he'd be a, quote, great woman. And these are texts to his Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband, Byron. Oh, I took this from the New York Post, by the way. And of course. A tabloid rag like that couldn't just call him Kristi Noem's husband, Brian. It had to say Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband, Brian, told a dominatrix he loved it when she was mean about his family, while telling her he thought he'd make a, quote, great woman.
Wow.
Sex worker Shai Sotomayor, so don't get that confused with Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, made tens of thousands of dollars in her salacious phone conversations with Noem, 56, which included at least one of her calling his family gross, according to humiliating messages obtained by the Daily Mail. LOL, yes, don't you? She replied of Kristi Noem and seemingly their 3 kids. Noem asks why she thinks they're gross, and she responded, because the fact of who your wife is, no one is prettier than me, no one as powerful. Fucking true, Byron, Noem replied. In the same November 2025 exchange, he told Sotomayor that he'd like to become a woman. What's gross? Asked Byron Noem, who used the handle Crystal Balls 666.
What the fuck
in
is
some
wrong
of the
with these people?
exchanges. So he said, what's gross? And she responded, your family.
Well, I got to agree with her. Are you sure?
I think you'd make a great woman, she texted him encouragingly. I would have to agree with you. Hair removal, huge fake tits, ass implants, hormones, he replied proudly, adding prediction that they will meet up someday. In other conversations, Noem revealed he wanted to be Sotomayor's trans bimbo slut.
Oh. Oh, snap.
Who goes by the name Crystal and fantasizes about leaving his family.
Just wants to be.
Despite loving being told his family was gross, Byron Noem appeared defensive about his wife.
Oh.
I do like my wife, he insisted at one point, to which Sotomayor replied cruelly, she's not very likable.
The dominatrix is on point here.
Oh, you know what? It worked. I'm not so upset anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty great. By the way, this dominatrix last name is Sotomayor?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not Sodomizer?
Oh.
Ba-doom. Okay.
I don't know if you know this, but somebody asked me what a dominatrix does recently, and I said, beats me.
Hold on, I got a button for that. Where's the button? Where's the goddamn button? I'm too late now. It's on the other. All right. Nailed it.
Oh, thank you for that and many other jokes. Follow me on social media at Michael Regilio.
Well, I got another kind of funny story here. It starts off, it'll seem sad because I'm going to tell you that I agreed with the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. And here's why.
Florida doesn't ban cousin marriage. And that's a hanging curveball for us to do. We need to do that. Other states have done it. I don't know why we wouldn't.
Definitely surprised.
And it starts to go. So that's him saying, hey, man, we should probably ban. And by the way, they have first cousin marriage, by the way. Which
I like how he plays dumb. I don't know why we don't do it, because half the state is married to their cousin.
Yeah,
dude.
man. Yeah, it's especially in the North, which is basically still the South. Okay, they go on to interview some people here, and their reactions are fucking incredible.
Christ, I wasn't aware that was something we're just doing out here. I wasn't aware of that. Definitely, it's kind of like teeter-tottering between the lines of like inbreeding, but not really. But at the same time, it's pretty close. You're
No,
I
it's
think
inbreeding.
that's inbreeding. That is
not even teeter-tottering.
No, there's no teeter-tottering. That is inbreeding.
Wow.
You actually have, fun fact, if people didn't know this. So I have a half brother. I don't have any first cousins because my parents don't have any full siblings. But if I did have a first cousin, you are have more genetics in common with your first cousin than you do a half sibling. Fun fact.
Wow.
So if you marry your first cousin, you actually would be better off marrying your half sibling, which is
which they also do in Florida.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they don't give a shit. Half, whole, who gives a fuck?
Wow.
Yep. So I do agree with you, Ron DeSantis. You should ban cousin marriage.
Man, that is hilarious. Back to the gnomes for a second, who may or may not be half siblings or cousins. One could make the argument.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about this? Christy Gnome bought herself a $70 million luxury jet, which she was flying around
with
her
taxpayer money,
special
correct?
friend, Corey Lewandowski.
Yes.
And as you know, it was rumored that she left a bag of sex toys on it.
Big bag of dildos, yeah.
So the Trump administration has announced they will retain the $70 million Boeing 737 MAX 8, initially bought for Kristi Noem, for Melania.
Damn, man.
Back to Melania.
I know they don't sleep in the same beds anymore, or probably the same building anymore, but you guys don't even fly in the same plane anymore. God damn. They do not like each other.
So the question is, will Melania be bringing her secret boyfriend and or her bag of sex toys?
Oh, yeah. She's got one.
On the plane.
She's got to have one, for sure.
Just disgusting. Everything about these people is disgusting. Of course they're keeping the $70 million jet. No. Yes, Kristi Noem was corrupt and skimming off the top. We're going to keep the jet.
They love jets. They can't say something about this administration. Doesn't matter if it's Trump or his underlings. Cannot say no to a jet.
Yeah. Well, there we have it. That is, I started with Melania and I ended with Melania.
Yep. Let's see here. We got time for one more. There's one more story I wanted to talk about. Did you hear about the fire that was set?
Oh, I saw some of the footage, which was shocking.
Yeah. So let's play the news story real quick, just so in case anyone didn't hear it, and then I'll give you my take on it.
This massive warehouse fire was allegedly the work of a disgruntled employee. Stunning new video appears to show the start of the fire. In the footage posted to social media, you hear someone say, "All you had to do was pay us enough to live," as stacks of toilet paper burn.
All you had to do was pay us enough to live. There goes your inventory.
Last night, police announced the arrest of Chamil Abdul Karim on suspicion of multiple felony arson-related charges, adding the 29-year-old is an employee of NFI Industries, a third-party distributor for Kimberly-Clark, the company known for manufacturing paper-based personal care and hygiene products.
Now, I tell you one thing, okay, especially coming back here to Ohio and seeing how much people get paid out here. And I mean, it's so little, dude. Like, there's no fucking way with a warehouse worker making something like $15 to $18 an hour, which isn't shit anymore. It's such little money. You cannot live on that, especially even if you work full time. It doesn't fucking matter. So like the consensus online seems to be in this man's favor. Now, I'm not saying don't burn things down. That's not the point of this story. But his sentiment is way too real. And I've said on this podcast before, if the rich and these greedy motherfuckers just keep taking from us and taking from us, refusing to pay taxes, refusing to pay us, more shit like this is inevitable. Like it's sad because like I don't understand why people won't look these rich motherfuckers in the face, probably because they never get the opportunity, and be like, if you guys don't stop being so greedy, we're gonna take everything. Like we're gonna snap. Like it's you can't keep doing this.
Read
to
a
people.
fucking history book, people.
Yeah, the French Revolution started because I mean, we are so far past French Revolution numbers by like a mile.
Yeah, there was the worry about something of an uprising and a revolution in the Gilded Age, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't have... We're all human beings.
Yeah.
And, you know, the idea that we're all created equal is a high ideal.
Yeah.
But at some point, people do look around and they go, if we're all equal, or at least close to equal. I mean, people aren't individually equal. Some guy's born great at basketball, and then some guy's born Michael Regilio, which is the opposite. But you know my point. The ideal that we're all created equal, and they look around and they go, this guy's got 10 jets, and I'm sleeping in a cardboard box.
Yeah.
And yet I work full time.
Yeah.
And they don't even work. How is this house of cards actually going to work? It's going to fall.
Yeah.
You know, I will just say it one more time that I've heard a number of people say, don't think of it as a billionaire tax, which it's the billionaire. It's just going back to the way it was. They say, make America great again. I mean, literally going back to the 1950s and the 1960s progressive tax rates. That's all we're asking for when we had a booming, growing middle class, not a shrinking, dying middle class. And the numbers don't even add. It's not even fair to compare the middle class from the 50s and the 60s to now, even though if you did, you'd say the booming middle class was doing very well in the 50s and 60s. But because back in the 50s and 60s, it was a single earner in the family. And now it's both parents working, and they're still struggling compared to the way they used to. But again, don't think of it as a billionaire tax. Think of it as an anti-revolution tax. Think of it as saving your fucking ass tax. And I'm not making a threat. I'm just reading the tea leaves.
Oh, yeah. I mean, average, let me Google this real fast just to make sure I have this information correct. Because they've started saying instead of average person income, average household income. Which is terrifying, because that implies that even with everyone working, and this is insane. Median household income in the United States is $83,730. So let's put the two people working more than likely.
Yep.
Still $83,000, which if that sounds like a lot, it's so little.
And by the way, it's not even just both two people working. It's two people working and like doing gig work on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like,
who knows? Yeah. Side hustles, as they love to call it. All kinds of fucking shit. And even like, I mean, Jesus, that's just, they're just paying people such little money. And right now, me and my wife, we've been looking, hopefully to buy a house, own our own house. The prices of houses. I mean, you're talking about $250,000 for a normal ass house in Ohio. That's crazy. And you can look on Zillow and these websites and see what they sold for a few years ago. And some of them a few years ago sold for $80,000. And now they're selling them for $250,000. Nuts, man. Like the buying.
I could go dark right now, but I'll try not to. But I don't have this figure in front of me. I saw the number of case claims that were approved by insurance companies after Luigi Mangione killed that health company executive, went up.
Yes.
Like they were scared for a little while there.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Following December 2024 killing of the United Brian Thompson, reports emerged suggesting changes in insurance claims approval. Okay, so of course this thing likes to caveat. So they did go up, and this article is saying, however, it's important to note that while there was public speculation, there's no official confirmation that's
well,
why.
They're not going to say we were scared.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to be
My point is simply that, look, there's a reason Luigi was seen as a hero. There's a reason that you say that public sentiment about this guy who started the fire was seen as a hero, or that they, at least they were siding with him.
Yeah.
There's a reason that, I mean, and the billionaires aren't trying to come off as good guys.
No.
I told you, Peter Thiel is trying to undo this pledge that Bill Gates had billionaires all sign, where they were going to give away 50% of their income or 50% of their wealth before they die. I can't remember what it's called, the Giving Pledge, I think.
Yeah.
Peter Thiel is literally going around. He didn't have to sign it. He didn't sign it. But he's going around trying to undo it, get people to unsign it.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Why is it that you don't want people to be... they're trying. They're all building spaceships so they can get the fuck off the planet and get away from us. I mean, it's just the garish wealth. It's just... They're not trying to come off like the good guys. They're not trying to come off like, hey, we're just working hard, whatever, man.
Trump and his wealthy elite friends, I mean, he said many times, like, if you were smart, you'd be rich. As simple as that. That's how Trump feels. That's how a lot of these guys feel.
And then they keep you from going to college.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. As long as we're on it, I'll give you this. So the effective tax rates for 2025 have been finally figured out. Get ready. Alphabet. Do you know what Alphabet is?
No, I don't.
They own YouTube.
Oh, yes.
It's the parent company of YouTube.
That's right.
They paid 8.01%.
That's fucking Google, right? Yeah, Alphabet's Google, YouTube.
Yeah, Alphabet's Google.
They only paid
AT&T.
8%.
4.6%.
Fuck off, man.
Meta, 3.7%.
That's not shocking.
General Motors, 3.09%. Amazon, 1.37%. Exxon Mobil, 1.31%. Disney, 1.57%. That's what their corporate tax rate was, their effective corporate tax rate. After they've taken advantage of all the loopholes, you take their profits and you see what percentage of those profits did they pay. Disney paid 1.37%.
That's insane.
Exxon paid 1.31%. Alphabet, that sounds high now. 8%.
Yeah, but
wow.
Good job, you fucking assholes.
Do you know what your tax rate is? Average American, working class, middle class American, it ain't 8.701%, and it sure as fuck isn't 1.57%.
Yeah, I think they say the average between state, if you have state taxes and federal, is in the 30s.
Yeah.
Very rarely in the 20s. But yeah, that's so you can be, so that's, by the way, those numbers, average household income. So that's 83,730. You take 30% of that and you throw it in the fucking trash anyways. And then you're in the 60s, for Christ's sake. And then you expect each person to survive on $30,000 a year when rent for any house in America right now that's worth a damn, that's not a shit little apartment, if you want to start a family, is $2,000 a month.
I wasn't ready for this, or I wasn't expecting to go on this rant, but I will point out that when we talk about the Nordic model, which is where, these democratic socialist countries that we call the Nordic model, where they have higher standards of living, longer life expectancy. Of course, they have universal health care, universal college, all that stuff. Right. They have longer lifespan. They have higher happiness indexes. They have more vacation time. All the things that make life worth living, they have more of it. They point out that the people there pay 35 to over 50% of their income in taxes.
Yeah, depending on how much
they make. And when you
interview
interview the people, you want to know what they say about why they're okay with it?
Yeah.
Because they can see their tax dollars at work everywhere they go. Their kids go to school for free. Their medicine is for free. The roads are well kept. There's museums. There's, you go to these cities in those other countries, like I've been to several of them. There's just bicycles to ride for free. There's public transit that it all makes sense. They say, where are my taxes going? What is the American scream when they're talking about high taxes? Where does it even fucking go?
Yeah.
Where does it even fucking go? This country's falling apart. And that's what they will say almost universally when you go to these Nordic countries, when they say, how do you feel about the society? And then you say, how do you feel about the high taxes? They all say, I feel quite good about it.
Yeah.
Wait, that was
almost Indian. No, I always say, like, they keep more of their money than we do, even being taxed at 50%, because they don't have to spend all their fucking money on gas. They don't have to spend their money on overpriced food. They don't have to spend their money on fucking medicine. They get all that for free. So they, even taxed at 50% for the higher earners, keep more of their money in their fucking pocket than we do. They don't have to pay insane rates for housing. That's the biggest expense for almost everybody right now.
Yeah.
So they keep more of their money. They have more money than you, even being taxed at 50%. And again, we're being taxed sometimes in the high 30%. We're not that far off, and we get fucking nothing for it.
And even less coming down the pipe for us.
Yeah. Absolutely nothing for it.
But because of the fact that there is this thing called conservative values, I can't get behind it. It doesn't matter if you prove to me over and over and over again that it's a better system. I can't get behind it because conservative values tells me small government, low taxes, small government, low taxes. Right. You're asking me to go against everything I supposedly believe in when you say, even if the outcome is better, even if you could prove to me the outcome is better for me,
yeah,
I still believe in conservative values. Therefore, I'm cucking for billionaires. I'm saying, like, that's what the average conservative middle-class person is doing. They're doing all the fucking work for the billionaires. They're arguing that the billionaires should be rich.
Oh, yeah.
I can't. I just can't. And
no. I'm sorry to take us on this route right at the end, but I had to get it off my chest. I had to say it. And now here we are.
Well, I got a whole week to calm down and get upset again. Who are kidding? I'll be upset in an hour because I'll bother to look at my news feed and go, what?
Oh, man. Sometimes we've stopped recording this. I've went outside, opened up TikTok or something. And the first story I see is something we didn't talk about on this because it happened while we were recording this fucking show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn it. It's oh, man. It's wild out there.
Well, until before that happens and we start screaming again, why don't you just tell everyone where they can find you?
Yes, please follow me. Subscribe to me on YouTube at The World is Clyburning. That's CLYBURNING. Just in case someone doesn't know how to spell the ridiculous word that I made up.
I'm going to leave you on this, Travis, because I decided to go ahead and look at my news feed before we walked away. And there's a story I have to tell you, and then we close on this. Follow me at Michael Regilio on all social media. Hunter Biden challenged Donald Trump Jr. to cage match.
Fuck yeah. Let's go, dude. You know what? Fuck it. Let the rich families fight each other. Let's go.
That's the best story I've seen. Updated 51 minutes ago. Brand new story. All right.
Oh, man. I love it. I'm so happy you looked at your phone.
With that next week. Until then.
Stay safe out there.